Welcome to the Navy Memorial's third annual Sailors of the Year Awards program. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the accomplishments of 18 outstanding sailors. This awesome group of sailors hail from all over the country. They have served all around the world, and they have made lifelong connections with their shipmates and with other countries. And in this time of growing concern across the globe, our connections with our friends and our allies serve to strengthen our collective security and our well-being. The men and women of our Navy provide a global presence, 24/7, 365 days a year. And with their service to our country, our sailors are defending the homeland. They are deterring strategic attacks. They are deterring aggression while being prepared to prevail in conflict if necessary, including the current challenges with China and with Russia. And they are building a resilient joint force and defense ecosystem. We are standing in our National Chiefs Mess, named in honor of the first Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Delbert D. Black. There is no better spot to introduce you to these amazing sailors of the year because they have all been meritoriously promoted to Chief Petty Officer. In pinning ceremonies like these, held on October 21st at the Navy Memorial and on ships and shore stations around the globe. Last year was the first time the Navy selected 18 sailors for this honor. This year, that tradition continues. Commands around the world spent the first half of this year in the selection process. And the men and women they have chosen, based on their sustained superior performance in 2021, are truly all-stars. Each of these sailors embodies the four core attributes of initiative, accountability, integrity, and toughness, just as they exemplify our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. No matter where they came from, each of these unique individuals forged connections and became part of our Navy family. It is our pleasure to introduce these sailors and to let them tell their own stories.
I'll be in the Navy as long as I can stay. I enjoy what I do. I love the people I work with. So I'll be doing this for about 30 years. I believe everyone that serves make a sacrifice each day. Each day you got to leave your family. I think that's a big sacrifice. But also it's an honor to serve. So the sacrifice is well worth it. Knowing that you'll be able to take care of your loved ones, by doing that sacrifice each day. Every day is a sacrifice for my family, but they constantly motivate me, encouraging me, hey, we're proud of you, and I just want to make my family proud. I have a bunch of family all over, grandmother, mother, brothers, sisters, a whole bunch of cousins and aunts and uncles. As a child, I always wanted to serve in the military, and I had a buddy that was going to the Navy. I went and spoke to his recruiter. I told him I wanted to do aviation, and he had a job ready for me. So I joined in high school, and I've been doing aviation ever since. I would have to say one of my best tours was recruiting duty, because it shows how much you can change a person's life. And I like to think that I changed a lot of lives coming into the Navy, and working with people from all walks of life. I've been all over from Japan to Virginia to Maryland, on different duty stations. So the goal is to always make connections, lifelong connections. And I still have people that I talk to that are in different states, different countries, that I could call up if I ever needed something, or if they ever need something, they could call me up. And it's those lifelong connections that's gonna help us to be better with each other every day. A person that influenced me the most, I'd like to say Senior Chief Rothrock. She's here at the Gladiators. She's a mentor to me. And when I told her that, hey, I'm trying to be successful, she's an airframer like me. And she's been supporting me ever since, just, driving me forward and mentoring me to make sure that I could reach the pinnacle of my career. To me, Sailor of the Year is one of the greatest accomplishments that you can achieve. And it's not just for you, it's for you sailors, it's your leadership and trusting that you represented the Navy well, that you represented yourself well, that you represented your sailors well. And The overall accomplishment is a team effort because I wouldn't have made it here without my mentors, my juniors, and if I didn't have the drive to keep pushing, I wouldn't have been here today.
The Navy means a lot. It has given me a purpose in life and has brought me to just really meet a whole bunch of different people that I would have never met in my life otherwise. So it is my career. It's what I plan on doing. I plan on staying in, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. What drew me to sea service is the ocean. In Arizona, there's no ocean. It's hot, it's 110 degrees. And the Navy was very appealing because at least I get to be by a beach. Because so many people have helped me in my career, I don't think that I could pick just one, but collectively, every single one of my mentors have just been a rock for me to go to. And the way that they've just been able to influence me is that I can always reach back to them and talk to them and constantly ask them for advice, help on life, Navy. You meet so many people and it's just really hard to pick out one when everyone that you work with essentially influences you to be better. My mom has had the most influence on me. She's probably been my biggest fan, my biggest protector really, and I just want to make her proud at the end of the day. Last year, about 10 days into deployment, I got word that my mom died. Trying to overcome that during a deployment, pretty much being able to go home, take care of that, and then come right back out to sea. I was leading the line division, which is the most junior sailors, and I felt like everyone was counting on me to come back. So pretty much trying to get through that, push through everything, and being able to set my sad feelings aside and make my mom proud at the end of the day. Probably that was like the hardest challenging thing, and I think it's what helped give me a lot of drive to be where I am right now. I really enjoy my job. I really enjoy talking to sailors and just being a part of this. Being a Sailor of the Year, it really took me back. I didn't think it was possible, but it was always one of my goals. So the fact that I was able to achieve one of my goals, I really want to encourage and inspire others to do the same. Like, even if you think your goal is out of reach, you can still meet it. And when I was announced, I cried. I was so happy. I couldn't stop my tears from coming out. But it means the world to me that people believe in me and they see something in me, and I don't want to disappoint them. So that means I'm going to continue to be better, and whoever the next Sailor of the Year is, I want them to be better than me and to get the best experience that they can. I have great role models that have helped shape me into what I am, and I can't wait to pass down any information and mentorship that they've given me to others, so that way their leadership style and their memories and their guidance can help others as well, not just reaching to me.
Before joining the Navy, I never would have thought that I would see the world and get to travel as much as I have. But since joining the Navy, I've been to over 30 countries and just gotten to see and experience way more than I ever expected. My dad was in the Navy. When I was born in Whidbey Island, Washington, he was stationed on the Constellation. The sea service has been a long tradition in my family. I have family members that have been in the Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Army. So plenty of military experience in my family. Through my time in the military, I've just met so many awesome people that have helped guide me through my career, and actually getting to talk and deal with the sailors that I do on a daily basis. They've become so much of my family, especially being stationed overseas where you're far away from your family and you don't get to see them on holidays or just talk to them every single day face to face. The Navy sailors that you're with just become your brothers and sisters, your mom's, dad's, uncles, and you just learn to work together and coexist and just have a good time together. My wife, with her career, she had to change her job quite often in order to follow me through my career path. Before me and her started dating, I didn't have any college or anything. While we've been dating, I've been Sailor of the Year of 2 different commands, and I've gotten my associates, currently working on my bachelor's, and I'm even got plans to start looking at master's degrees, but never would have even thought about any of that before meeting her. 10 years from now, I'll be getting close to my 21-year mark, so hopefully I'm still in and still chugging along. Definitely hope to be in more of a leadership role. In 20 years, I can utilize my military experience. Since I've been in the military, I've been able to get nationally registered as an EMT, so emergency medical technician. I can utilize that. The Navy means pretty much everything to me. Being Sailor of the Year, to me, means that the hard work of all my junior sailors and those that I've been working with means something. By me being able to compete in this competition up to the very top, it means that we were doing something right as a team. I just thank everybody that has helped me get to this moment in my life, be it if we met professionally or we're friends, family. I just thank everybody. It means a lot to have people supporting you.
So I chose to join the Navy. In part, I wanted to go to Afghanistan, but also I had a grandfather that was in the Navy, and I thought very highly of him and his service, and felt comfortable continuing that. Being Sailor of the Year means to me that it's a chance for people who will likely recognize me going forward. I suppose I'm just really grateful for the opportunity and all the work that so many sailors put into promoting their sailors through this program. So to me, the Navy means the ability to serve, but also it's an opportunity for me as an individual to go and do things that I never would have been able to do before. I think the biggest impacts in my career have been, well, certainly Afghanistan and my contributions to the emergency ward in Bastion, and what I saw there and the people that I was able to help there made a big difference for me. And then I think being able to help people as I career counseled later in my career was certainly made some lasting impressions on me when I did actually get to help, that one sailor or two that really needed it. And then instructing was a very unique experience that certainly taught me a lot, not just about the Navy, but about me. I think certainly as far as Navy experience that'll be useful for me going forward, maybe into a civilian life, we may talk about it a lot, but the leadership concepts that were taught, the situations we're put in and learn to navigate really are very unique, and I think that'll help going forward. I have 3 kids. The rest of my family mostly resides in the Baltimore area. So as far as my family making sacrifices, I think my kids, they're all school age. They certainly have made a sacrifice that they can't comprehend yet. I think they share some pride, but maybe they don't know any better as they will grow into a firmer understanding of what we were all doing. The rest of my family, certainly it's a sacrifice that I can't be there to help as the generation above me ages. So I've had a lot of good and bad interactions through my career, but the good ones that really stand out are almost always about individuals. Sure, we were working hard, sure the task was complicated, but the interactions have always been individuals who I kept relationships with going forward. I suppose the importance of good working relationships in the Navy is really about being able to network, using those networks and making sure that you're available to that network to help sailors, to help the Navy, to help your country.
I want to be the person who trained the next MCPON. I am very proud that I am a sailor. It is one of the oldest branches of the military, and there's so much history and there's so much knowledge in it. And for me to be a sailor who has had some of the experiences that I've had and served with some of the people that I've served. It makes me very proud, and I'm honored to be able to call myself a sailor. I've got a long family history of service from my grandfather to my great-grandfather. So it's very cool to be the next generation of family who are serving. Honestly, the people who were most influential to me were the people who didn't allow me to make excuses, didn't allow me to not give my best product, and gave me that tough love. So the two people that I think of the most are a YMCS retired Debris Jones and a CTR CS retired Nzinga Henderson. Tough love, motherly love, but always had my best interest and pushed me to want to be a better person and a better sailor. My husband, he has had the pleasure of promoting first and to the rank of Chief Petty Officer. And he's my sounding board. Whenever I feel like I'm off course, whenever I feel like I need advice, because he knows me best and we have the same job in the Navy, there's nobody better that I can bounce things off of or get sound, real advice from. All of the training that I've gotten as a yeoman is transferable to the civilian sector. But the thing that I think in my training that is going to be the best is the dedication and determination and the resilience that being in the Navy forces you to have. And as an employer, if I'm looking at hiring an employee, I can always teach you the technical things, but I can't teach you character, I can't teach you resilience, and I can't teach you how to have a good work ethic, and the Navy has taught me that. Sailor of the Year, it means hope. It means pride. It's so many emotions wrapped in one. I've always said that the administrative rates, we're not the most glamorous. We're not the rates that are on the posters or in the TV ads. While those rates are amazing and there's no way we could be a Navy without them, there is something to say that the administrative rates, they're just as important. And I feel like it gives hope to them and shows those that are in that rate that we can make it this far and that your work is important and it shows.
I have really been blessed. I've been really blessed to work with who I think are the greatest sailors in the United States Navy over at N3A in Nyack, Georgia. And I'm so thankful that they push me to constantly be better. Being a sailor brings on a lot of traditions that other branches don't necessarily have. Both my grandfather was in the Navy and my great-grandfather was in the Navy. So it has been a lot of fun to embrace that tradition and to grow with it. And then next, it is something that brings a lot of pride to me. It brings pride to be able to wear my uniform and to serve my country in the way that I have. I joined the Navy because college was not working out for me. I was unfocused, to say the least, and I knew I needed to get out of the situation that I was in. I've been fortunate to work with a lot of great leaders throughout my career who have shaped me to become the sailor that I am today and the man that I am today. Deploying throughout COVID brought unique challenges, and that was my first time deploying as the senior enlisted leader. And it was a very unique time to be able to deploy and to have to lead a bunch of junior sailors. I always say that my wife is a superwoman, and she truly is. She has had to make a lot of sacrifices to support our family while I've been out deploying and while I've been out doing what my job calls of me to do. Being Sailor of the Year it's still hard to put into words. First and foremost, it means to me that I was able to take care of my sailors, that I was able to take care of my people and help them grow in their respective careers. And because of that, they allowed me to push further and to accomplish things that I never would have been able to without them. Where I'm going next, we'll see. We'll see what the Navy has in plans for me. And all I know is that wherever I go, I'm going to be taking care of my people. My goal every day is to wake up and say that I am taking care of my sailors. And as long as I do that, I know ultimately it will take care of me.
Earlier this year, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy Jim Honey took over as the 16th MCPON. With 35 years in the Navy and as the former senior enlisted leader for U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, he understands exactly what goes into becoming a Sailor of the Year. I'd like to welcome MCPON Honey to share his thoughts and his congratulations with these 18 Sailors of the Year.
Shipmates, congratulations on this remarkable achievement. Take the time to reflect on how you got here, but remember, you didn't get here all on your own. The accomplishment comes from not only your talent, grit, and determination, but from the strength and experience of your mentors, your sailors, your family, and your loved ones. Thank those who encouraged and supported you along the way, helping you achieve this milestone. I am grateful for your inspiring leadership, both in your commands and your communities, and I look forward to seeing you continue to accomplish great things as you take on the next challenge. Succeed and be the chief. Thank you for what you do for our Navy, our nation, and our families.
Thank you, MCPON Honey, for those heartfelt and inspiring words. As the MCPON said, none of these sailors would have made it this far without support, determination, and a drive to succeed in their next challenge. Operational commitments made it impossible for all of this year's Sailors of the Year to sit down and join us for this program, but we should still recognize great achievements. Now let's hear from a few more of those Sailors of the Year in their own words.
The pinpoint accuracy to move in multi-million-dollar aircraft, I like the challenge of that. What I love about the Navy now is just the team building, the camaraderie, just meeting new people from all different places, the opportunity to travel and just gain new experiences. The Navy pushes you. I feel like if I was just working a regular 9 to 5, I wouldn't be challenged as much as I am in the Navy, especially when it comes to leadership or just doing my job on a day-to-day basis. The reason why I chose to stay enlisted as opposed to being the officer route, I just feel like you're a little bit more hands-on with the growth of junior sailors, and I enjoy that the most, like the teaching and just making sailors better people every day. The person that has influenced me the most in the Navy was probably my first LPO, Aviation Boatswain's Mate Chief Handling, Andre Hardin. He was in my first command, he was my first leading petty officer, and he just would not allow me to quit. I probably wasn't the best sailor those first couple years. Not because I was just a knucklehead and getting in trouble and stuff like that, but I just didn't understand how the Navy worked and how to be successful in the Navy. And he laid the foundation for me. The family that's waiting back home is my wife, Elena, and our 4-month-old daughter, Alea. And also back home, my mom and my 2 older sisters. My family is extremely proud of me for being in the Navy. They tell me every day how happy they are for me to make this decision and sacrifice to be in for this long. I'm just really appreciative to them to be backing me for these 15 years. Missing Christmases and Thanksgivings and not being able to talk to my family on a day-to-day basis. So that's a pretty extreme sacrifice, but they understand that this is the route that I chose to be successful, and I appreciate them for being there no matter what. Being Sailor of the Year is an extreme accomplishment. Like, I would never guess in a million years that I would be the Surf Pack Senior Sailor of the Year. The competition was fierce. I had to go through 4 boards. Once I got to the final board, I was up against 6 sailors. And when you go to those boards, they give you each sailor's bio, and I'm reading the bios, and I'm like, man, these guys are superstars, man. And on top of that, they were great people. I'm extremely honored to be the Senior Sailor of the Year. Just a special thanks to all the leadership throughout my 15 years in the Navy. You guys helped mold me, shape me so much, you have no idea. Made me a better person. To the sailors on board Essex. I got here in 2018, and it's been nonstop, up-tempo type of command, and we've crushed it. So, Bravo Zulu to you.
The Navy, I feel, gives you the opportunity to excel. It gives you the opportunity to create your own destiny, essentially. My parents came to the United States in 1982. They left Nicaragua because there was a war going on, and they just wanted a better life for their children, for myself and my brother. And that taught me about discipline. It taught me about work ethic and perseverance as well. What drew me to sea service, or what drew me to join the Navy, was the goal or the passion to do more than what I was doing at the time. I was compelled to do more, to be a part of the Navy and to support our country and to serve our country. The connections that I've made in the military have strengthened my resolve. I have a lot of great leaders that I've worked with over the past few years, and these are lifelong mentors. So I think this is something that is extremely important, and is something that is unique to military service. Is you get a chance to work with different people in different duty stations, and you experience different things, and all of you become a family, essentially. And I think that really charges somebody to do their best and to continue to stay motivated. My wife has had a great impact and a lot of influence in my career. She's been extremely supportive. She's had to deal with me being gone for birthdays and Christmases, and she doesn't complain. She understands and she supports all my goals and all the taskings that come up. So I think that makes life easier, not just for me, but for any sailor who has a great support network. Being Sailor of the Year means a lot. It's the culmination of all the support and all the investment from my leaders as well as from my teammates. I wouldn't be here without my teammates. I've been blessed with exceptional leaders, and I've been blessed with an exceptional team. Being Sailor of the Year kind of solidifies the fact that our team, our task unit, we accomplished a lot of great things in 2001. My goal is to make Master Chief. I've had great leaders throughout my whole entire career, a lot of great chiefs that have invested their time and their energy in me. So I think that I can honor them, and I can achieve the rank of Master Chief.
I can't lead one sailor one way and then another sailor the exact same way, right? Every sailor requires something a little bit different, and you just gotta refine that. And that's one of the challenges of being a leader. I've been impacted by a lot of people within my Navy career, but one of the people that has actually impacted me the most is now retired Chief James Bauer. Even though he was getting out and he was dealing with a lot of medical issues and all that stuff too, he was still there taking care of his sailors. He was still pulling me aside and mentoring me, hey man, instead of doing what you did, you should have done this, right? He was one of many chiefs that had mentored me, but he was probably one of the biggest mentors I've had. One of the experiences that impacted me most was my first shore duty. So on my first sea command on the USS Ohio, I was very introverted, quiet, didn't really have a whole lot of leadership responsibilities. And then I get to shore duty, and they're like, you're gonna be the shop LPO. I'm like, I never done this, right? I was a very junior first class. I never done this. I was going to be in charge of, 6 other first classes. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And as I grew into that role, I kind of was able to refine myself as a leader. With some of us being in the military in the same family, we don't get that opportunity for big family gatherings and all that. So one sacrifice my parents had made is, working around our schedules and making it where, they maximize the opportunities to see us. It's a great honor to be selected as the Sailor of the Year. I've never met somebody that's, went and, been selected at the level that I've been selected. It seems like I'm kind of a unicorn because it's a relatively new program for the amount of Sailor of the Years they've done. But I'm hoping to be able to, take this opportunity as the Sailor of the Year to be able to mentor, junior sailors.
I have like the most important job in the Navy. I'm sure everybody thinks that, but I get to put these kids in the Navy. These kids that come from all walks of life, I get to hear their stories. It's getting to see people come from different situations and being a part of that change when they call you, when they graduate boot camp and they're in tears and they're like, I did it. Like, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for doing the waivers. Thank you. All the things that we feel are thankless and tedious and the paperwork, getting those calls and having them come back in their uniform and be so proud and so grateful. I mean, to me, it's just the most important thing. My older brother joined the Navy the year before me, and just seeing his independence was really inspiring. I did high school in 3 years, so I graduated, I was 16, and about 4 or 5 weeks after I turned 17, I was in boot camp. And I thank my mom for supporting me in that decision. As an institution, the Navy is a great organization. They take care of their people. The leadership that I've been able to experience from people that really cared about me, the relationships that I've built, some closer than blood, have all come out of me deciding to join the Navy. So my life is pretty busy. We have 4 children, my husband and I. It's been difficult because the norm is not that the wife is a sailor, right? It's usually the other way around. As my kids get older and establish relationships and make friends, it is really hard for me to uproot them each time because, it's difficult to start again, even as a young child. I was shocked when I actually won. I do feel like it's a reflection on my leadership for trusting me to represent. It's a humbling experience. This is the first time that an NRC sailor has won NETC ever, and the first time an NC has won. So it's just such an honor to know that my leaders felt that I could rightfully represent not only my command or Region West or NRC, but all of naval education and training. I mean, it just means so much to me. I would say a lot of the perception that the public has of the military is due to lack of knowledge. And I would say grab someone, grab a sailor, ask them about their experiences. I would tell the public, continue to support not just the Navy, but all of your troops, because we really are the 1%. Most people don't choose to do this. If you ever have a chance to do something nice for an active duty member or a veteran, do it.
I've always wanted to join the Navy. Ever since I was 4, I thought the Navy was the best thing out there. I remember watching Top Gun, and I wanted to fly jets. And then it just stuck with me. I wanted to fly jets all the way up until I got too tall to fly jets. I've always liked boats. I was lucky enough to be selected as a Master at Arms, and when I became a Master at Arms, I found out that we actually patrolled the waters, and I was like, hey, that's what I want to do. Since then, it's been the best job in the Navy. I learned a lot about being an American and deploying overseas and seeing our influence on other cultures and their influence on us and being an ambassador. I've had experiences that most people will never have. Nobody in my hometown definitely has. I've seen things, I've gotten to go experience things. The Navy's given that to me. I see everybody in my unit as family. I want them all to do good and amazing things. I've learned more from people in the military serving about who I am and who I want to be. It's all about the team. It's all about making the unit better. Like it doesn't matter if I shine or anything. I want us all to shine. The most impact on me would be Chief Andrews. She's a MA chief. She was a second class when I met her. She instilled in me a work ethic like you would not believe. The second person would be Senior Chief Knox. He saw in me the ability to go beyond just being a boat driver. And the other one would be Senior Chief May, another MA. He actually kind of showed me what it means to take care of your people. The person who's had the most influence on my life personally would be my wife, hands down. She has made me be better at everything because she sets that standard and holds it. And I couldn't have done any of this without her or my daughter. Sailor of the Year to me means I now have a platform and the visibility to actually affect more than just my unit, more than just the Harbor Patrol unit. I care about the Navy and I want the Navy to continue on just as well, so I want to make sure that the people coming up underneath me. So in the next 5 years, I see myself doing a lot more training of my replacement and passing on the knowledge and skills that I have now. It's a huge, huge recognition. I mean, this is the largest thing I've ever had happen to me in my life. Honestly, I saw it as a reflection of Sasebo, the security department, the base, the harbor unit out there. So it was a huge, huge thing. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. I think a key ingredient for success in the Navy and in civilian life is your attitude and how you approach whatever problem or mission that you have that's put in front of you. It's going to play into how well you get them what they need. And stuff like that, and how well you complete the mission, and how well you make everything better for the unit, because that's what we're here for, make the unit better.
Each one of these sailors exemplifies the ideals all sailors strive for. Here now with a message for the selectees is the 32nd Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Mike Gilday. The CNO is himself the son of a Navy sailor, and he has dedicated his life to service to our country. Welcome, Admiral Gilday.
Shipmates, I'm honored to be with you tonight to recognize and to celebrate the achievements of our Sailors of the Year. This is the most exciting and the most consequential time to serve in the United States Navy. With fierce competition challenging our way of life and the rules-based international order, our Navy remains on call and on watch to protect the freedom of the seas, so vital to the stability of the world. Under challenging conditions, these 18 men and women have distinguished themselves from all others and best exemplify our Navy's core values of honor, courage, and commitment. And I, like your fellow sailors, are inspired by your grit and by your strength. We're so very proud of you. Your meritorious promotions not only honor your accomplishments and dedication to service, but also inspire the sailors that come after you. Sailors, you now lead in the fleet. To our Sailors of the Year, congratulations. Thank you for everything you do day in and day out for our sailors and our Navy family. To our families, thank you for your selfless and inspirational support. I look forward to seeing you leading our Navy as chiefs. We'll see you in the fleet, shipmates.
Thank you, Admiral Gilday, for those words of wisdom. And now let's hear from the rest of this year's Sailors of the Year. They are truly the best of the best.
I picked the Navy because the Navy kind of aligned with a lot of the things that I wanted to do when I served. You know, I wanted to travel, I wanted to see different things, but I also wanted to have an impact. You know, our planet is, you know, filled with 70% of water, right? So I wanted to be part of the world's greatest Navy. My family has a long history of serving. My great-grandfather was a lineman in World War II in the Army. Service has become kind of the family business for my family, and we take great pride in that. I'm married. My wife's also in the Navy. She's supported me throughout the whole process, and my kids, and you know, I go home to them every day, and you know, they just bring me joy. I just feel like I've grown up, become a better man, better leader, better person, and I think when you actually serve, you can, you know, you really find yourself. Everywhere I've gone, I've had great leaders, great peers, great people that have served under me and have made an impact on my life. You know, everybody comes from different walks of life, different places, you know, in the country, and it's good to get together and get to know those guys and, you know, overcome some hardships and have some good times and bad times. But basically, you know, the camaraderie is really something that's really had an impact on me. Making connections is huge. Especially in the Navy, because there's a lot of different shops, a lot of different departments, and you guys need to work together, especially when, you know, you go underway on a ship. You know, everybody needs to work together to accomplish the mission. I feel like I'm right where I need to be in my calling, and serving and sacrificing and, you know, feeling like I'm making a difference in this world. I feel like, you know, we kind of like doing things for others, and it brings me fulfillment. You know, I feel like I take pride in being able to sacrifice and be able to serve my country. I want to make this a career, and you know, I want to stay as long as they'll have me. I guess it's, you know, a culmination of, you know, all the positive influences that I've had from my parents to mentors, you know, to my family. I couldn't have done it without them, as well as my sailors. You know, I don't think that anybody can do one job. You know, anybody's job can be done without, you know, the team aspect, right? You know, I couldn't be doing my job without my sailors and my leaders and stuff like that. So, you know, I think it's, you know, a culmination of everybody's influences on me and their aid, and you know, I'm grateful for that. I've had great leaders at every command I've been to, and they've, you know, passed the torch on to me, whether it's, you know, Navy life, home life, and dealing with both, or learning my job or getting better. I just want to be able to pass the torch on to the next generation, pass those lessons on that they've passed on to me, and just be the best leader I can possibly be. Have you seen the guy jumping out of a helicopter saving people? Top Gun, you know, the rescue swimmer that saves Goose and brings up Maverick. That's what I do. I am that person, and that's what I do. I fly in back of helicopters and jump out of them to save lives. My father was an AO in the Navy, and he worked at Naval Base Miramar. And being around the Navy, San Diego being a Navy town, kind of made sense for me to join. I've always been drawn to the military and the suspense, the action, the adventure. Top Gun, when I was a kid, was my favorite movie. I met my wife in Pensacola, Florida, and the one who influenced me the most was her father. Her father was an AEC, it's an aviation electrician's mate. He was, at the time, working for the Blue Angels. In the beginning of my career, he helped me out, guided me. And I just recently told him that he was my ultimate mentor in the Navy, but he never knew. But I always came to him for advice, and I couldn't thank him enough for everything that he's taught me and helped me with throughout my career. The Navy means to me teamwork, coming together, all walks of life, going forth and doing the same job as an entire team, helping others out, and creating a brother and sisterhood, kind of like a huge fraternity, an everlasting fraternity. What does Sailor of the Year mean to me? To me, it's being humble.
I've done a lot of good things this year, or I've done a lot of great things last year for me to be in this position I am now. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my peers, my chain of command, my family, my mentors guiding me along the way to get here. I had to make several sacrifices. I've been in the Navy for 18 years. I've been on 7 deployments in 18 years. Been away from home for a long time, and I couldn't have made this far without my family, especially my wife. I haven't had a traditional AW air crewman career. Everyone says follow the ladder, get your qualifications, which I have, but I branched off a little bit. All you gotta do is just keep moving forward, keep crushing it, keep your head up, stay positive, and stay humble. You know, if you got a goal, go for it, and don't look back, don't turn back. Just keep moving forward.
If it hasn't been one before me, I definitely would love to be the first female McPon. So it's always been a goal of mine since I came in, and I would love to achieve that goal in the next 20 years. Well, what drew me to the Sea Service is because when I was a civilian, my uncle was in the military, and I always just wanted to go on one of the ships. And so he took me on my first ship just to tour it. It was the USS Iwo Jima, and I was like, oh, those racks are small. Like, no, I can't serve on the ship. But he was like, oh no, it's cool. Like, really, you know, think about it. So I thought about it, and of course I came into the military, and I was on the USS Gerald R. Ford. That was my first ship, and I just loved everything about it. Being out to sea, just the camaraderie of how we like really made the ship work. If I had to sum up the Navy in one word, it would definitely be family. And the reason why I say family is because it's like your own family. You know, we might not agree at all times, but we all love each other, we all look out for each other, and we come together and complete the mission. My sailors, they're the ones who really showed me how to be a leader, because I had no choice but to lead them. So, you know, they hit me with difficult situations where I had to figure it out, I had to learn, I had to, you know, help my sailors. My husband and my children, they're the reason why I continue to push every day. They're my support system. If I didn't have them to keep me, you know, grounded and to keep me focused, you know, I wouldn't be able to come to work and do what I do every day. My children, they definitely think that I'm like a transformer. Like I'm just this big superhero, and I, you know, just go and got my laser guns and I'm just saving the world. They really don't understand. The only thing that they just know that mommy is working and mommy will be back. Being soy, it's so amazing, and I really don't even have the correct words to explain the feeling or the thought of being soy, because I never imagined, you know, that I would be the soy. And I definitely give it all to my mentors and my sailors. My sailors, they was the ones texting me and encouraging me through the whole process, like, you know, you can do it. And they believed in me more than I believed in myself, and it definitely shows. So being soy, this is definitely for my sailors. So this is definitely a reflection of them. This is not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of the George Washington crew. I would love to thank my sailors for always giving me a run for my money. I definitely thank them for that and all of the lessons that they have taught me.
So what the Navy means to me, it's pride, teamwork, it's a calling to something bigger than yourself, to protecting the 7 seas, and most importantly, protecting the homeland. It's very unique and I love it. So what drew me to Sea Service? So my father, he was in the Army, and I grew up in Colorado, so it was all Army and Air Force. I wanted to do something different. When I joined the Special Projects Division, it really opened up my eyes to not just what the submarine force does, but what the Navy does. And I got to get more exposed of more of the brotherhood, more camaraderie. It was just a huge, big deal to me. And I was able to meet some of the best sailors in the Navy. They taught me everything I need to know, not just about me, but also taking care of the family and taking care of our shipmates. Before the military, I didn't really have any connections. I didn't really understand, but once I joined, just having the understanding of family and my shipmates, like when we're on deployment, we just have each other. And then when we transfer, we still have each other, and we build those connections even more. And I love it a lot. Who in my personal life has had the most influence? It would definitely be my mother and my sisters, and also my baby brother. They give me the most motivation in life. They support me very much. They are my anchors. They are my rocks for everything that I do. They're very proud of me, even though I can't be there for a lot of things I do, but they understand completely, especially since we have family that's been in the military. They understand completely than just trying to make something of it. So I appreciate them, and they love me. I love them. What does Sailor of the Year mean to me? It's very humbling. It's hard work pays off. For my leaders to trust in me for day-to-day operations, or even my junior sailors to trust in me for mentoring them. And then I take it all in for them mentoring me back, and us being a family. It's very important. Being in this experience, it's very humbling. You know, you don't have to be the greatest sailor trying to be like a hero. Just show that you care and just take advantage of any opportunity that you can, because you may never know where it could lead you to. It could bring you to something even bigger than yourself, and you can be standing somewhere where you never thought you'd be. The hard work will pay off, and before you know it, it'll make you something bigger than yourself, and you'll be happy about it.
I joined a little bit after September 11th. I joined just a couple of months afterwards. It happened September. I joined in February. I was actually stalling the recruiter to take me because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to college or not. But I decided that I wanted to serve to help protect our land after seeing what had happened. It gave me an opportunity for promotion, for, you know, accelerating towards something that meant something bigger than me, right, than myself. The Navy, for me, as a job, it meant security. I didn't come from great upbringing. You know, we were poor, and it's given my family an opportunity to see parts of the world that they may never have been to. You know, and where I grew up, it's a pretty small, not really a melting pot type of civilization. And my kids grew up, you know, knowing and seeing all types of different cultures. If I were to ask my family what I do every day, they would think that I'm under the water looking at fish right now. Usually, I think they just think I play with fish. That's the first thing they ask is, did you see any fish, see any sharks? I think, you know, anybody that's served knows exactly, you know, what their family's gone through. It's hard on all of us, you know. The heart weighs heavy when you're away from the people that you love and the ones that you want to be around, you've chosen to be around, right? I've chosen to marry my wife and have those kids, and I want to be around them and for everything. And that's the hardest, you know. You miss, you know, soccer, football games, you miss dance competitions, you know, you miss people's weddings, like that type of stuff's hard. And but it makes it grow fonder. It makes those things that you do make more special. Being Sailor of the Year, it's surprising to me, to be honest. I didn't expect this, you know, like within the command, we have our Sailors of the Year, have the Sailor of the Year competition, and, you know, you get picked and you feel, you know, great about it. Like, oh, wow, I made it out of the people of my command. But to make it this high, like, I never thought something like that would happen. Have the opportunity to lead all kinds of different people from all walks of life in all different types of situations and places around the world. And I think those types of skills will translate pretty well when, you know, trying to find some type of managerial job or supervisor type position outside of the Navy. I've met so many great people in my different commands I've been to, made good connections in different countries all over the world. The connections I've made, especially in this command, you go through dive school and you make lifelong friends. It's not an easy process to go through. Not everybody can do it. And the people that you go through that with, you stay connected forever. We share a special bond between us, you know. People that served, you know, they kind of talk to each other a little bit different, you know, like they know what others have experienced, and that gives a special bond between us.
It has been our honor to present these vignettes and introduce you to our Navy's 2021 Sailors of the Year. We thank them. We thank them for sharing their personal stories. And a special thanks to Mick Ponhoney and to Admiral Gilday for sharing their insights into this great achievement. These 18 sailors truly represent our Navy's finest. Please join us in congratulating them for their selection as the Navy's 2021 Sailors of the Year and for their meritorious advancement to Chief Petty Officer. Tonight's program will be posted online on the Navy Memorial's website. We urge you to please share it generously to let America and to let the world know about our sailors' extraordinary talent, their dedication, and their service. Thank you for watching. And always, as we say at the end of our programs, fair winds and following seas.